Brandon, it's a pleasure.
Yes, sir.
Good seeing you today, man.
Yes, likewise, likewise.
How have you been?
Been busy, man, non-stop. I've been running like crazy. Oh, you know how it goes, never ends.
I mean, when you're working hard at stuff you love, you supposedly never work a day in your life, but everybody lies to you about it.
Yeah.
We all know you're working 24/7.
Yeah, no kidding, man.
So let's just get into it here.
Sure.
Everybody wants to know, what's up with Brandon Briles?
Well, right now, man, things have been incredibly busy. I've got a lot of stuff going on. I just started this new vlog, so I've been like recording everything. You can see all the cool cameras all over, you know.
Beautiful.
Never ends. I've been editing stuff like crazy. I've been working on this website. I just released a clothing line this last year. So actually, this is one of my shirts. It says
Check
love,
that out.
Yeah, it says "Love the Struggle." It's got my name on the back. That blew up after my Snapchat kind of took off, man. It went crazy, and then, dude, I've just been all over. I've been meeting tons of good people, doing all kinds of cool stuff. It's been a blast. I couldn't ask for more.
What about the meet and greets with people? How's those been turning out? You've been going to parties and hanging out with artists, I hear.
Yeah.
Album parties and stuff.
Yeah, and I'm actually excited to tell you about some of that stuff. I've got one that's coming up in the works real soon, and dude, it's been incredible. I've got to meet so many cool people. I've got to do so many cool things. Like where I saw myself 5 years ago versus where I'm at now, and like meeting all the great people and doing all the cool things. I mean, you coming out, you know, shooting stuff like this, I could never ask for more. It's really been life changing. It's been incredible.
But it's been awesome from my side. Just to touch on the personal aspect a little bit here. We met through just happenstance because I actually had my computer die, and you're a damn computer genius. You know how to make everything work and figure it all out. And I had contacted a bunch of companies and couldn't get them to figure it out, and you dug 48 hours of your life into my computer just to figure out how to get it to work again. So yeah,
that's been crazy too. So kind of, I guess, a little bit of backstory about me is I started off as an IT guy, man. I work for a company called Romtech. It's in Petersburg, and I love it there. I love the guys there, and if my life hasn't changed as much as it has to where it is now, I would definitely still be there. But I found this new passion doing all this stuff, man, meeting all these people and recording video, and you know, all of a sudden I fell in love with it. It became like my new passion, you know, like my whole next thing. Like that was it. And so now I just dropped down to part-time there. So I actually only work there a few days a week. I'm on the way now. I've already told them that unfortunately I'm leaving from there. Yeah. And I'm doing all this stuff full time, man. And it's been incredible. It really has. They're all very supportive. Shout out to those guys at Romtech, man. Thank you guys very much.
Shout out to Romtech.
Yeah.
You guys are wonderful.
Yeah, without Romtech, man, I wouldn't be able to do any of the stuff that I'm doing right now. So that's been great.
And speaking of your life and all the stuff you're doing now, what is your main business objective for this year? Where do you see your clothing line, your company, your media stuff heading?
Right now, it's, you know, when I first started the whole thing, I started on Snapchat, and it blew up, and things took off, and it went really well for me. And then I started dumping a ton of my energy and resources and money and everything into the clothing line, and I got it to where it's very self-sustainable. I mean, it runs itself. I don't really have to do a whole lot. I have a distributor out of North Carolina. They're great. They take care of all my product. When someone is ordering something, if there's any hiccups or anything, they are on top of it. Those guys are on their game. And I couldn't ask for more on that. Moving forward, now that I feel like that's accomplished, you know, I've really been working on all these new videos. Like that's it for me. That's kind of where I want to take this next year. So I just started up a YouTube channel. I started doing some weekly vlogs. Eventually, it's probably going to lead into daily. And I've got a ton of things in the works, man. As far as places to go, people to see, things I'm doing, people that I'm getting to meet for the first time. Yeah. I've got a ton of interviews that I'm going to be doing with other people, and it's all going to be shot on YouTube. That's
going to be fantastic to see. We'll have to give people your link to your YouTube channel so they can get out there and subscribe to it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Now, with moving into branching into YouTube and everything else, again, you originally started with the clothing company, and I just want to kind of touch on that subject. If you just always had a passion for apparel? I mean, what kind of started this whole idea of where, you know, hey, I'm going to make these wicked awesome t-shirts and we're going to sell them to people?
Yeah, well, one, I appreciate you saying that they're wickedly awesome.
I saw one not too long ago, completely honest with you. It It was the American flag with the gun shirt.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So I saw someone out in the public, out in the wild, with a Brandon Briles shirt.
That is awesome.
You know you're making it in the world. And I was like, I know the guy who made that.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear, man. It's been so crazy because when my Snapchat first blew up, my cousin, actually, of all people, shout out to you, Jake, he told me, he's like, man, you should do some clothes. I'm like, clothes? What are you talking about? He's like, you should do some t-shirts, you know, you're creative, do some cool designs, put them on a website or whatever, and run with it. And at that time, I owned the domain brandonbriles.com, but there was nothing on there. So I was like, well, I mean, I guess I have the domain. We could try to build it and see, but I don't think anyone would be interested in my stuff. He's like, well, just make it cool. You know, you got enough people that'll follow you, you know, they'll go for it, they'll support you. I'm like, okay. So I started making designs and stuff, and we built this website, man. It was me, him, and like 5 other dudes stayed up in my office at the time, which isn't even my office now. We stayed up all night long, built this website, right? And I mean, dude, I was so tired because I had to work. I worked all that day, and then I came home. We all did that, stayed up all night. Then we went into the office, banged that stuff out, and then the very next morning went up, went to work again, came back the next day and hammered down for day 2, and we finally got the website up. And then I had like 3 shirts on there, man, and they sucked. Like at the time.
Oh, come on, give yourself a little bit of credit here. I'm sure they didn't suck.
They were definitely as not quite up to par as I would like them to be now.
Well, is an artist ever truly appeased with their work?
Yeah, you're right, man. It's, my saying goes, "It's perfectly imperfect."
There you go. That's a great
perfectly
saying,
imperfected. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm like, let's just kind of move forward, and I'm gonna get better at designing these shirts. So we started in on the shirts, got those kind of where I wanted them and where I was happy, and then I just kept kind of hammering down designs and designs and designs and designs, and then I was doing it on my own at the time, and so I was shipping out all the stuff from my house. I was like writing notes and stuff in them to people, you know, like I'd be like, hey, thanks for buying my shit, you guys are awesome, and I'd throw it in a box and send it out, and people liked that, and it was cool, and it was me, it was real, you know, and I think a lot of people bought into that. And then as I got a little bit bigger, I couldn't keep shipping stuff, I couldn't keep doing that, and so the distributor actually hit me up, and they're like, hey, we want to help you, and we can make it very professional. And I was like, well, I don't want it to be professional, I want it to be authentic.
Exactly. And
so they were able to work with me, and we customized things, and like, you can see that's actually one of my first orders. It's got my logo on there, it's got a neat little thing on there. It says, you are awesome, end of story, thanks for buying my shit. Like a long drawn out little thing for me, and I think that's what really helped kind of slingshot it into where it is now.
Yeah. And moving from where you've went, we touched on it earlier, but your Snapchat blew up. That was kind of the big one that hit the radar for everybody.
Yeah, man, it was so cool. You know what? I owe a lot of my thanks and a lot of all of whatever it is that I have, or any kind of ability to steer other people, man. I owe it all. Adam Calhoun, he was the guy that really kind of jump-started me into this stuff. He didn't even realize it at the time. He probably still doesn't realize the impact that it had. That guy, so we went on this giant yacht party, right? And it was the most extravagant party that a man could probably throw. It was like the biggest yacht on the lake. This was in Lake Michigan, in Chicago.
All right.
And I'm like hanging out with this dude and like all of his buddies and stuff, and I'm seeing the way that they're doing stuff, and you know, they're just having a blast, you know, really living. And I'm from a small town where people don't really typically do that, you know.
Yeah, it's a very small town, homey culture, and
yeah, and people, they work really hard, you know. It's that Midwest vibe, and I think that's great. And you know, the United States alone wouldn't be what the United States is without those people. And I'm like looking around at this, and like I look back at my hometown where people have never seen another person live the way this guy's living, you know, and having a good time and just being able to kind of do what they want to do. And so I started getting involved on Snapchat. I just started posting stuff every day, and eventually it took off. You know, I had a lot of people that were shouting me out and stuff and helping me build my whole Snapchat platform. And all of a sudden it was like a big snowball. You know, getting one person isn't so cool at first.
Yeah.
But it's very important. And to get that one person, you know, it might take 10 other people to see it. And that might be the only 10 people you have that watch you. And that's okay, you know, as long as the quality's there, I feel like, of the content. And so eventually more and more and more and more and more people started watching, and it became this huge snowball. And then all of a sudden 10 people were sharing with, you know, 10 of their friends, and then it became like I would get a couple hundred ads a day sometimes, and then it just became like global. And now like my clothing line, kind of going back to that, it's global. I mean, like I have packages that ship out all over to Australia, you name it, man.
Africa,
yeah,
over into Europe. I've seen there's been
tons.
People everywhere that have been hitting up this clothing company.
Yeah,
and you know, obviously that is a testament as much to the social aspect and reaching out, but it is to the design qualities and how much you can relate to the people that come across you. You're just a great, relatable human being, and I see that from everybody. That you know, full disclosure, you and I have been friends now for quite a while, and I've watched it from my side of the world too, kind of being over in my little island. And every couple days I'll pop on and there's a Snapchat and there's stories and there's people messaging and hitting you up from all around the world, just tagging themselves, and it's been amazing to watch. It's really been absolutely just wonderful to see someone that's so down to earth and so humble have the success that you've had, and you know, coming up in the future. That's something I want to touch on next. What do you have in plan for the continued success of Brandon Briles and the B Squared Company, and everything that you're going to be doing here in the future?
Man, I got some crazy things in the works. Actually, so a guy that owns this company, shout out JMT Entertainment, man. These guys called me up, right? I'm in the shower, and they call me, right? So I answer it, and I'm in the shower. It turns out this is a very important meeting, and I didn't know that. Dude, you can hear the water in the background just, and I'm in the shower. This guy, he goes, "Hey, Brandon, what's up?" And I didn't know who it was at the time. I just answered it because I thought it was like one of my friends. And I answer the phone. I'm like, "Hey, what's up?" And he goes, "Hey, this is Jeff Allen." I was like, "Jeff, what's up, man?" And so now I immediately know who I'm talking to. He goes, "Hey," and I've kind of touched on this a little bit with other people, like on Snapchat, but I haven't really officially announced this yet because I don't know for sure if it's coming. I've got all the green lights, but you know
fingers crossed.
Yeah, you know how things go. So I'm about 80-20. All right.
We'll give us 80% of the story, hold the 20 that may not be there.
Yeah. And so he calls me up and he's like, "Dude, I need you. I've been following you on all social media now for a while." I'm like, "Okay." I was like, "Well, what do you need, man?" He's like, "Dude, I'm going down." So his promotional company, they basically go out and they target, like, you know, bigger rap artists for the most part, and they hit these guys up. They do interviews and stuff with them, and it's like really cool. And he's like, "I want you to go with us down to Florida." I'm like, "All right. I mean, yeah, let's go down to Florida." I'm already on board. Like, that was all I needed to hear.
Take me to Florida. I want to see sunshine and palm trees and sun-touched women. I'm good to go.
Yeah. And so I'm like, "Okay, yeah, I'm good." And then he's like, "Well, I mean, do you want to, like, know what you're doing?" I was like, "Oh, yeah, I guess so." He's like, "So we're going to bring you down there, and we're going to be with Afro Man and Nappy Roots." I was like, "Oh, shit, okay." So now I find out that I'm going down there, and I'm going to be interviewing these guys, and I'm shooting video for them. I'm going to have the drone out. I'm going to bring all my camera stuff, bring the Mac, the mic, all that cool stuff, and get really nerdy out there, you know. But like now, it's become such a cool thing that I'm going to go meet new people and do that kind of stuff. And so I'm already kind of stoked about that, right? Then he drops down on me. He's like, "Oh, hey, by the way, after that, so we're going to be out there for a 5-day run, and then once I come back, I'll be back in Indiana from Florida for about a week, and then we're going to shoot off to Colorado." And so he's like, "Once we get out to Colorado, you're gonna be with Snoop Dogg, Wiz Khalifa, and possibly Cheech and Chong." Now, I think there's a little bit of like an embargo on this, so I don't know how much I can talk about, but
we'll call him up and ask before we post to find out what's going on here. So how much can we say?
So I'm like, okay, and I'm pretty pumped, you know. He's like, "So you'll be hanging out with these guys, and you get to shoot the shit with them, and you know, you can interview them, do whatever, and basically just spend a couple days with them." He's like, "So have you heard of Red Rock?" And I'm like, "No, I have no idea what that is." He's like, "Well, it's out in Colorado. It's like the most prestigious place you can play out there."
Okay.
I look it up, man, and this place is gorgeous, dude. It's huge. It's like down in the middle of this rock valley, and there's like, I mean, it's incredible. It looks like something out of a movie. It really does. And
awesome.
So he's like, "You know, we'll put you in the Ritz Hotel." I don't even know what the Ritz Hotel is, you know, but I assume it's pretty
high
good.
Class stuff.
So me being just like this redneck white dude, getting ready to hit up Snoop Dogg and Cheech and Chong, and I'm like, I mean, I don't know what the Ritz is, but I guess if you're rich enough to pay me to go there, we'll go, brother. Like, it was hilarious, this phone call that I'm on, and I'm in the shower still. And I was like, well, hey, I appreciate all this, man. I gotta go. I gotta wash my hair. So he's like, okay, guy. He's gotta think that I'm a complete lunatic, man. He really does.
He deals with rappers and artists. I'm sure he's fine with most of that.
Yeah, Jeff Allen, thank you, brother.
So before you have to go and wash your hair again, I'd like to just get on to asking you real quick here. Is there anything that you really want to say to all of these wonderful people, these fans, these followers, these people buying your merch, everything that's got you to this point?
Yeah, man. Actually, you know what? I think that's really important. At the end of the day, so like kind of where I started off with all of this, you know, when it started off with I didn't have anybody that knew who I was. You know, I had my friends around here, and I look to my friends for just about everything. If I ever have a question, man, I have like this real small group of people that I know will keep me in check. If what I'm doing is stupid, they're gonna be like, dude, you gotta get your shit together, this isn't working. And I use them as a real backbone for what it is that I'm trying to do. Now, going out of that's been a real tough transition for me, but going from a small group of people to exploding what seems to be like overnight, it has been a really, I mean, it's just been a real dream come true. I had this vision of once I met Adam and I saw all these people, and I got to meet a ton of new people, and a ton of people that were really killing it in the game. I saw them and how happy they seemed, and part of that isn't all the time, and I'm aware of that, just as my life isn't happy and sunshine all the time either. But overall, I saw a life that they lived, and it's like, man, this would be incredible if I could do this. And then I kind of thought to myself, man, if you just start doing this and start maybe making videos, get kind of well versed in videos, you could potentially be here too. And so when it comes to all the people that watch me, man, I cannot express enough of my gratitude to them. If it wasn't for all those people, I wouldn't be able to do any of the stuff that I'm doing now. I wouldn't have a clothing line. I wouldn't be able to put out videos and have a whole bunch of people see it. I wouldn't be able to do any of the stuff that I'm doing now. It's been incredible. I cannot thank them enough because, I mean, that's it. There's no me without them, you know.
And there would be no us without all the people that have done so much to help and so much that have changed and shaped your life. So I wanted to touch on that, and I wanted to say thank you personally for taking the time to sit down and talk with me today. And we'll hopefully get a good chance to spend some time together soon, and we can hang out a little more, and then we'll get this out for everybody, and we'll see where we go from there.
Absolutely, man. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, buddy. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.